Prince Harry and Meghan spent Mother's Day weekend in Lagos, Nigeria.
Why are they actually doing this? What do they do? What is their role?
There's no way our royal family would set foot in Nigeria.
Why is there so much controversy surrounding Prince Harry and Meghan's visit to Nigeria?
Oh, so fabulous.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel once again. It's your girl Dumebi. If this is your first time coming across my channel, you're welcome. I do hope you decide to subscribe, and if you are a returning subscriber, you guys know that I love you. It's so good to have you here. Welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's visit to Nigeria. Yes, my country. So they came sometime in May of 2024, and they came because Nigeria is very likely going to be the host of the next Invictus Games. The Invictus Games was founded by Prince Harry, and it's basically a sporting competition for military veterans. And I believe Nigeria has recently joined up or is going to be hosting the next one. So Prince Harry came in respect of that because he's one of the founders. And of course, he came with his wife, Meghan Markle. And the British basically refer to them as unofficial royals because they are not currently working as part of the British monarchy. So this visit has nothing to do with the British monarchy. They came on their own and they were received with so much warmth.
The Duke and Duchess of Sussex have just wrapped up a 3-day visit to Nigeria. Now, this trip by Harry and Meghan, it's not an official royal tour because they're not working royals, but it was an official visit. They were invited by the chief of the Nigerian defense staff, and the purpose of the visit was to host conversations about Nigeria potentially hosting the Invictus Games in the future. But of course, there was also a personal angle to this visit. If you don't remember, back in 2022 on her podcast, Meghan revealed that she has, I think, 42% Nigerian ancestry after taking a DNA test. I hate that I know the exact number. They were also highlighting some of the work that their foundation, Archwell, is doing in Nigeria. So, lots going on. Their first stop was a school called the Lightweight Academy in Abuja, which is the capital of Nigeria. They announced a new partnership with that school and Archwell to provide mental health resources. They did so many things on this visit. Because right after they were off to a meeting at the Nigerian Defense Headquarters, they were both wearing suits by Altazara. Harry's is teal green and Meghan's is white, making up the colors of the Nigerian flag. We love to see flag dressing, even though not a royal tour. They then traveled to the Kaduna state where Prince Harry was welcomed by the governor and presented with traditional attire, as well as a gift, which was a painted, framed picture of him and his mother, Diana. Harry then went on a solo visit to the Nigerian Army Reference Hospital in Kaduna to meet with wounded service members. This was all day one, mind you. Then, Saturday morning, Harry and Meghan looked in on a training session with a group called Nigeria Unconquered, which works with the Invictus Games. They were gifted these Nigerian scarves as they watched, and in Harry's case, participated in a game of sitting volleyball. Adaptive sports like this are a big part of the Invictus Games. Later that day, there was an official reception in honor of military families during a Women in Leadership panel, which Meghan co-hosted, along with the Director General of the World Trade Organization. She wore this gorgeous red dress, which was actually by a Nigerian clothing brand, who posted that their website had crashed after pictures of Meghan in this dress were released. First of all, this was such a fun event. The host asked the audience which Nigerian names they should give to Meghan, but she also commented on her wardrobe. She said that I very quickly got the memo that I need to wear more colors so I can fit in with all of you and your incredible fashion. Thank you, Nigeria, for giving Meghan this memo. She also carried the colorful dressing into Sunday, which was Mother's Day here in the US, as she and Prince Harry landed in Lagos, which is Nigeria's largest city. She was wearing a Carolina Herrera white button-down paired with a traditional Nigerian skirt, which she and Harry had actually received at the reception the day before. After touching down in Lagos, they visited a grammar school which partners with the Archwell organization, as well as the charity Giants of Africa, which uses sport, particularly basketball, to engage young people. Then the couple attended yet another reception at the state governor's house in Lagos. At this reception, Meghan received a shawl from the governor's wife, which was so stunning with this yellow dress. And she also received honors and symbols in a naming ceremony. I have to look more into the details of this and the titles involved, but Meghan was named Ada Mazi on this visit, which the British papers are reporting is a title of respect and honor honor, meaning daughter of an aristocrat. This ceremony was attended by 4 kings from different parts of Nigeria who traveled to Lagos to meet with Harry and Meghan, which is a very, very high honor. Throughout the trip, both Harry and Meghan spoke about what it meant to them to be welcomed so warmly to Nigeria, but Meghan in particular, she was talking about how it felt like she was being welcomed home. So, very touching. But wait, there's more. For the last event of their Nigerian tour on Sunday, Harry and Meghan attended a charity polo match, something that is very familiar to them, and in the process, they really demonstrated that they are pros at this point. This was their first official trip with a program of events since leaving working royal duties in 2020, but you can tell they have not lost their knack for it. And I purposely didn't include any pieces from the British media in this video because I wanted you to just hear what happened on this trip, but rest assured the British media are quite salty. Half of the articles about this trip are talking about how it's time for Harry and Meghan to be welcomed back because look how well they're doing. The other half of these stories I've seen are inventing snafus that supposedly happened on this trip. I personally didn't see any, and Meghan and Harry's hosts, above all, seemed very happy with their visit, and that's what matters.
One could actually say that they were received exactly the way royals would be received, or at least very similarly to how the royals would be received. And this did not sit very well with the British people. Now, a lot of Nigerians might not have even known that they visited, but a lot of people in political offices and traditional offices know about them and welcome them accordingly, even in the military as well. It was overall a very warm welcome and warm visit for them. Now, if you have any idea what has been going on with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, you would know that there is a whole Meghan hate train by the British people, and I personally do not understand it, but it's been so bad that I think that was the reason why they had to leave and are not working as official royals of the British monarchy presently as we speak. Now, this whole Meghan hate train has been attributed to Ray to the season because Meghan is biracial, her mom is black. And I believe the hatred has actually extended to her husband, Prince Harry, because he stood by her. So this would probably explain why their visit to Nigeria is all over the British news. There are so many clips that I've seen circulating of them making commentary, not so nice commentary about Meghan Markle, about Prince Harry, about their visit to Nigeria.
This royal tour of, sorry, I shouldn't say royal, this tour of Nigeria was very much the Meghan Markle show, wasn't it?
You wouldn't know it was
really
anything to do with Harry and the Invictus Games, which Nigeria have joined up to.
Yeah.
It was all about, I'm discovering my colonial roots.
But also, poor thing, he really is a spare.
Yeah, he is.
You know, it's just poor, endless spare. I just slightly did feel a bit sorry for him because she really did steal the show.
Dominated it. He was always one step behind. The cameras were always on her.
Yeah.
The people wanted the selfies with her.
Yeah.
She had about 3 or 4 different outfit changes a day.
Expensive clothes
really
as well.
Expensive.
I mean, she was wearing a lot of money in those dresses. And the thing that I think is that wasn't it? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't they leave Britain because they were upset at the intrusion of their lives?
Yeah, they hated the media.
They wanted to live private lives as ordinary people. That tour that wasn't 2 ordinary people going to visit a nice country, was it?
No.
It was very much. I mean, they clearly, that was obviously a lie. They don't want privacy. She wants to be famous, and also she was talking about her children. She's perfectly happy to share information with them about them when it suits her
on her terms.
You know, all the little aperçus that Lilibet has been saying, all the little clever things. She's very bright for a 2-year-old.
Apparently, Lilibet said, "Mummy, I'm very like you.
I see myself in your eyes.
I see myself in your eyes."
I have to say, I don't think my
that.
children could actually speak when they were 2.
No.
And maybe they're quite thick. Maybe hers are just geniuses.
Harry, he's back for a short while.
It's been awful.
Yeah.
I think he's been rude to his father and using Invictus Games to just make him more famous and make him more money. I think it's absolutely terrible. And I've been watching today he and Meghan out in Africa, and I could barely believe my eyes, really. It's so phony and awful. And I mean, you don't mind really what clothes people wear, but if you go to a school, a very quiet school that is a religious one of Muslims, you don't go with a dress that's absolutely no backing to it at all. I think that's really...
Yeah, because a lot of those, you have to cover your shoulders in a lot of those countries, or if you do anything, because I've done TV shows in that sort of environment, you have to cover your shoulders.
Yes, and it doesn't mean anything. You just do it. You just do it and you behave very well. And I thought, you know, just coming down the side of your... It's absolutely awful. And she was very rude because one of the teachers was talking to her, and there were two little girls there sort of joining in, sort of, you know, politely. And she obviously was bored. She looked up in the air, looked around, and she said, "Hi." And she then sort of pulled Harry, as she usually does, because she was bored with that. She wanted someone who could then take nice pictures of her and Harry. And you think, my goodness, where are your manners?
Well, listen, I think they're constantly trying to reinvent themselves, aren't they? And it's very interesting that even Meghan was wearing one of Princess Diana's old necklaces that was part of her private collection that obviously Prince Harry has had for safekeeping for some time. But it's interesting. They are trying to sort of put themselves on the global stage. They need to still have this royal connection. I mean, they were embarrassingly standing up and having the British national anthem play out whilst they were at a gala dinner. Listen, there are so many issues with this whole trip. You know, Meghan wearing dresses which are about $10,000 to $15,000. You've got the issues of whether they should even be travelling them as well. Wearing Princess Diana's necklace, all the royal connections. But you know, it's just another reinvention for Harry and Meghan at the moment.
But Dee, what is this? What is the reinvention? I mean, as Rusty points out, it's a very glamorous tour, and they're driving around in Lexuses. They're going to the polo. These are not common folk things to do.
I think Meghan feels like she's, giving a bit of her personality and warmth to these people, and they should just be really grateful that she's there. But their whole rebrand is like that. Like, it's now Sussex, their website. They've completely re-embraced the royal because they know there's cha-ching in it. And, they'll have a Netflix series coming up about some school they'll sponsor in Nigeria.
And I guess that driving for content is part of all of this. But it's in a way, such manufactured content.
To be honest, he looked like he had to be revived there.
Isn't that embarrassing? It's not only embarrassing for them, it's embarrassing for the world, and certainly embarrassing for our country. It's all about Harry and Meghan. It's a massive public display and photo opportunity for them to bolster their flagging image. Now, remember, Patrick, they're about to launch 2 new programs for Netflix, one all about polo and one all about cooking. So what better than them to launch themselves on the world stage, make themselves relevant once again? They have to maintain their image of being royal and being relevant. That is their USP. Without that, there's nothing else. But they are not in the same league as Kate and William. They're not. This is good timing for Harry and Meghan when Kate's out and the King's out and William's looking after the family back home. But they are no longer working royals. They do not represent the king or our country, and they are undermining the good work which our royals do in Commonwealth countries. Now, the Foreign Office should keep their eye on this, because they should be advising the High Commissioners in all Commonwealth countries and telling them that this is not a royal visit. At royal visits, they play the national anthem. Why was the national anthem played at their visit? It wasn't a royal visit. They didn't sing the words to it. I'm not sure whether Meghan knows all the words to the national anthem. I'm sure Harry does, but they didn't. Why didn't they? And why did they play the national anthem?
So remember I said the visit was basically because of the Invictus Games, but for Meghan Markle, it was even way more than that. It was some sort of homecoming for her because she expressed how she found out that she is 43% Nigerian through a DNA test. Now, a lot of people have pointed out how she also says she has Maltese heritage as well, and also question how it could be possible that she has 43% Nigerian heritage, given that she actually is a biracial woman. So that suggests that she is just 50% black. So how is it that she has 43% Nigerian ancestry, being that her mom, who is the black parent, is actually African American? Now, I can't even go into that. That's the topic for another day. But she expressed how honored she is to be Nigerian.
Never in a million years would I understand it as much as I do now. Being here. And what has been echoed so much really in the past day, by men and women alike is, oh, we weren't surprised when we found out when you were Nigerian. Oh, no. And I say that mostly as a compliment to all of you, because what they define as a Nigerian woman is brave, resilient, courageous, powerful, beautiful. A familiar face for the next generation to say, oh, she looks like me, and I can be that. And I think that is a really key piece in all of it, where success isn't defined by, oh, you've gotten out, you've gone somewhere else. It's defined by, and you still always want to come back home.
And Nigeria loves Meghan Markle. Now, a lot of people are indifferent about the monarchy and the British royal family. But if there's one thing I know about Nigerians or about Africans in general, if you claim your African heritage or your Nigerian heritage, you'll be welcomed with open arms. And she seems to be doing that. Now, the welcome right from when they arrived in Nigeria was so warm. And you guys, I don't even want to get into the whole tradition of African countries creating a whole fanfare whenever any member of the royal family is coming to their country. I feel like at this point it can be controversial because a lot of people feel like this royal family, the whole monarchy in itself, has done more harm than good to African nations, and we should not be celebrating them and rolling out the red carpet for them when they come. But I want to know what you guys think. Do you think it is about time African countries stop giving members of the British royal family this kind of fanfare when they come? Or do you think it doesn't really matter? I want to know what you guys think in the comment section. But the thing that is hardest to miss is the hate train on Meghan Markle and how they have tried to turn this visit to Nigeria into a joke. They've not had anything nice to say, and it even got to the point that they had negative things to say about Nigeria as a whole.
The countries that the royals honour with their visits are very carefully chosen. And I'll tell you this, you'll know this, Michael, you've been on enough royal tours. There's no way our royal family would set foot in Nigeria, a country where female mutilation, genital mutilation is rife, where women's rights basically don't exist, where hundreds of kids are regularly kidnapped by extremist Islamic groups. This is not a country that should be endorsed by anyone, certainly not our royal family. And these two neophytes, they're naive in what they're doing. They're making this country look good when it doesn't deserve it.
Absurd couple do their stupid, weird, pretend royal tour of that African country,
Nigeria is, poverty stricken.
Yes, in a country where most people earn £1.50 a day.
I mean, Nigeria is a country that has a lot of problems, and I'm not sure many can be solved on the polo field.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, Nigeria is listed around sort of the 9th most dangerous country in the world.
Suggested that his family wouldn't be safe in Britain. Nigeria is a much more lawless country. Now, he's gone to that country there, where it's an extremely dangerous place.
She's a
warrior princess.
Yeah,
A warrior princess.
Listen, they've gone to the right place if they want to expand their cohort of fake royals, because Nigeria is flush with people who claim to be members of the royal family.
What is the basketball court going to do, Mike? What is the basketball court going to do?
Well, I mean, I guess they're going to say, well, it's going to help people use athletics to reach out from poverty and make themselves into superstars in the NBA.
It really keeps them in touch with the people when they're watching Nigerian polo too, right?
I knew there was such a thing.
Visits are very carefully chosen. And I'll tell you this, you'll know this, Michael, you've been on enough royal tours. There's no way our royal family would set foot in Nigeria.
Well, I think Nigeria is known to be one of the most lawless countries in the world, and it's
problems, dangerous,
poverty,
least safest poverty.
African country, problems, dangerous,
poverty,
least safest poverty.
African country, problems, dangerous,
poverty,
least safest poverty.
African country.
I, for one, am not going to sit up here and pretend like there aren't problems in the country of Nigeria. But that is typical in most, or if not all countries, especially in America. And time again, since I was a kid, I can remember how this picture was painted of Africa being this very poor continent, like the entire, first of all, it was like painted as being a country, and it's not. But it was painted as people who are untrained or uneducated or living in huts or utopian place that just was uncivilized. But if you talk with so many people who are from there, literally from there, and you talk with people who have visited there, the story is completely night and day. It's important that we continue to call these things out because these people use these buzzwords and they're upset that Meghan and Harry is trying to put a spotlight on a different side of Nigeria and Africa as a whole.
So this man here decided to greet himself with racism.
There's no way our royal family would set foot in Nigeria.
So nobody told him that Meghan and Harry came here to improve their relevance. Nobody told him. So nobody told him that even Nigerians did not notice that Meghan and Harry visited Nigeria. So nobody told him. Just look at the journalist. When you look at him, you will understand that this is a man that's trying to improve his relevance. So Meghan and Harry visited Nigeria, and because they did not trend, the British journalist wants to do everything possible to ensure that we get to know that they came. So he wants to let Nigerians know that Harry and Meghan visited by pushing scandal. It's not going to work. Didn't nobody tell this journalist that Nigerians don't care? Nigerians don't care. The only thing that would matter to us right now is if the visit of Harry and Meghan or the visit of Prince Charles or whoever to Nigeria would improve the cost of living. If their visits will cut down the cost of petrol, will cut down the cost of inflation, would adjust the cost of things in the market and make everything affordable, then we are going to care. As a matter of fact, we're going to run to the streets and welcome them. But if that's not the case, see, the only people that care about their visits right now are the elites. Anyone who's going to the UK is going to the UK to hustle. Nobody's going there to eat free money. And anyone who's coming to Nigeria and not coming to improve the lives of Nigerians, we don't care. We rather open our phone and watch comedies and laugh and smile because the suffering is too much. So all this scandal here and there trying to ensure that we get to know that Harry and Meghan visited. Well, now we have known that they visited. And so what? All these British journalists, if you look at them, first of all, you will know that during their youth, they were nothing. Not because they are old and wearing glasses, you think they have experience. Nothing is in their head. Kunkum, nothing. Coconut head. That's what is going on here.
Yes, just like in those clips, people that are not in Nigeria that have probably never visited Nigeria speaking on Nigeria. And believe me, a lot of the information you see on the internet is wrong and is written as propaganda to make our African countries look far barbaric and terrible. As a Nigerian who has lived in Nigeria all her life, I do not know any female whose genitals has been mutilated. I am not saying that this doesn't happen. It sure does happen. But there is always this agenda to blow things out of proportion than it really is, just to make us African nations look very barbaric and backward. They also talked about how Nigeria is not safe, but their royals visit Nigeria and other African countries as regularly as possible. And a lot of these African countries are in the state that they are simply because of the influence of the British monarchy and basically the colonizers that came to our countries and took advantage of our people and our resources. And now to turn around and talk about how we are unsafe and backward is just a slap in the face if you ask me. Now, I think Meghan Markle and Prince Harry are living their best life, and they even visited Jamaica, I think, sometime earlier in the year.
And another public appearance for our favorite privacy-complaining former royals, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, who made a surprise appearance in Jamaica to attend the premiere of Bob Marley One Love. Meghan wore this interesting-looking black gown, while Harry wore a dark navy blue suit. Their appearance was called insensitive since they cozied up to Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness, who has been vocal about ditching the monarchy in favor of becoming a republic, as well as fellow anti-monarchist Marlene Malahou Forte on the red carpet. Jamaica is most likely going to sever ties with the British monarchy, and while Harry and Meghan preach about peace and letting the past be the past, it seems like they are making a point to go to Jamaica for a movie premiere out of all places and pose with those who are publicly critical of the British royal family, which fits in with Harry and Meghan's public agenda. Aside from their appearance, something about them looked very awkward and out of place. Even the movie premiere photos looked as if they were taken in a rushed and unprofessional way. For example, in this photo, we see Meghan is looking at a different camera, Harry seems to be mid-sentence or something, and everyone else in the photo is looking somewhere else. They even pose with Paramount's CEO here, so people are questioning where they stand with Netflix, considering they haven't produced anything worthwhile since the soap opera of theirs complaining about the royal family for 6 hours straight in December December 2022.
And it was the same thing. The British media went wild criticizing the visit. Even the regular British people now, it is not just the media, because when you go to the comment section, you see nasty comments by these people about Meghan Markle. So they actually expect these predominantly black nations like, Jamaica and Nigeria that Meghan Markle and Prince Harry have visited to not welcome them with open arms. They expect these nations to join in the hate train against these people without even having a reason to hate on them. And bear in mind, just like I said, that black people, we recognize our own. If Meghan Markle is one of us, we would accept her as such and treat her as such, which is what happened. They were accepted warmly in Jamaica, and they were also accepted and welcomed warmly in Nigeria. So to wrap this whole thing up, from the outside looking in, seeing how everything has unfolded right from when Meghan Markle joined the royal family by marrying Prince Harry and how she has been treated, a lot of British people will fight tooth and nail to dispel the fact that everything that has happened to Meghan Markle and how she has been treated, the whole smear campaign, everything that has been purposely done and said to make her look bad and to tear her down, they will fight tooth and nail to dispel the fact that it is because of racism, because she is a biracial woman, because she has some black in her, and she willingly and happily identifies with that side of her. But if anything, this whole debacle, this whole fiasco, this whole drama on her coming to Nigeria with her husband and the way she has been treated and the way the media have created a propaganda about every single thing, the way she dressed, the way she walked, the way she interacted with people, the way she spoke, everything has been an issue for them. If that is not enough to prove that they hate this woman and they are out to get her because of their racism, the way that they spoke about Nigeria in question is enough proof. And this is one of the countries that they colonized. I mean, you guys watched those videos, you guys saw everything they had to say about Nigeria and Nigerians. And the fact that this woman is choosing to identify with people that she feels she has some sort of ancestry with is not going down well with them. And if anything, I am proud that these predominantly black nations are actually accepting her with open arms. If they think we are going to join in the smear campaign, then they have another thing coming. I want to know what you guys think about this whole thing in the comment section. I'll be waiting to read your comment. Let's have a conversation. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.
When are you all going to grow up? Come on.
It's not a question of growing.
You all keep bringing out the same narrative.
You do think the royal family would benefit from them being back?
I think most definitely. But the reality here, and there's a biblical saying that sums this up, the stone the builder rejected became the cornerstone. The cornerstone cannot revert back to the stone. That's an abomination. So everything needs to feed into the cornerstone. Okay. As far as I'm concerned, Harry and Meghan are looking like the cornerstone right now. So the royal family should be looking to say, can we come under your banner?
Oh, wow, Richard.
Whether Harry and Meghan, in a hypothetical sense, of course, assuming they wanted to, would come back, is something that is fundamental. That is the issue of trust. The royal family don't trust them. And the reason they don't trust them, well, they wanted a half in, half out. They said this. They demonetized their royal family and their connections there for gain, and then they trash it. And this is the problem. And this is perhaps the reason that, to everyone's surprise, by the way, that King Charles and Harry didn't meet last week.